Okay, here's the the motor ready to go in. Flex plate is modified. Little adapter is made to put the torque converter onto the back of the crank snout for the LS motor here. The videos you're gonna see, sorry, they're kind of disjointed. We kind of did this over when I had a spare time. Work's been stupid busy, so if I only get a half hour to come out type deal, I'll do a little bit at a time. So you'll see the video's kind of disjointed. Chris is going to edit it. He should do a fairly decent job. But yeah, so this is the motor's ready to go on. We hummed and hawed while we had everything out because the control arm bushings were bad. They need to get changed. So we're going to, they're here already. Coil springs are supposed to be here middle of the week, I guess. I'm going to do the whole front end first. Like I'll do the control arms, the ball joints that way. Everything's out easy to get to. And then yeah, we'll put the motor back in. So it's going to turn into a couple week project, but this weekend was killed. We went to put a new bathroom in at one of the brothers' places there. So that kind of killed the weekend there, but a little bit more important than this stuff. So, but yeah, so this will probably a couple weeks, but I think this week I'm going to start tearing into the front end on the old 55 there and getting that done. But yeah, sorry for the videos. You'll see they're kind of a little bit all over the map, but Chris should do a good job editing. Okay, we're back. We're just going to start pulling the front pulley slash harmonic balancer off the motor for a 55 here. I just put a Johnson bar in there and tried, and it wasn't going to go. So I got a 3/4 inch impact, and we'll see what happens here. That wasn't too bad. Came off not too bad. Holy crap, these things on there tight. So it's just a 16 millimeter bolt. Yeah, so we got that off. So now I just got to get a puller on there. We'll pull the front harmonic balancer off. We'll change the front wheel seal. Or the front wheel seal, sorry, the front seal. Okay, back on the 55 engine project here. Today I'm going to pull the harmonic balancer up at the front there. Puller finally came, because unfortunately it's not like the old small block and big block Chevys that have the tapped holes in them, so you need a puller to actually pull the dang things off. So this is a brand new one. It's made in Taiwan. We'll see how good it works. Hopefully it's better than the cheap Chinese one. You have your different legs, puller legs that go into onto the snout there for your pusher. So we'll see how it goes. Grease your pusher screw there. Either grease or oil. Something's probably better than nothing. I like to use grease. But we'll put it on here and we'll see what happens. Okay, I got the puller in there. How this one works, it works with the pins. I'll get that right out of the way. They give you 4 lengths of pins to go back against the crank snout there. I have the second longest pin, and I just put it in here, and you can say I don't have much thread. I might have to end up putting the longest pin. It's a very compact puller. I guess it's designed to pull with the rad. Get my thumb out of the way. It doesn't seem to be that tight, actually. I thought it would have been worse. It's actually moving fairly good here. I don't got a tripod here today, but I can use one hand to do this. So yeah, I'll have to back it off, put the longer pin in. But yeah, this comes off very easy. Tool's nice. Like I said, it was a little $50, but it's feels like a good solid tool. Like I said, I guess I probably could have got a little 3-drop puller in there, judging by this thing wasn't that tight. I was worried it was going to be tight. When we did that big block for that Chevelle there, holy Christ, was that tight. Like I said, this isn't bad at all. Well, got the front pulley off there. Very slick tool. Like I said, sometimes just having the right tool makes life easier than trying to half-ass and make stuff work. So I'll get this timing cover off and we'll take a look there. We'll get the seal popped out, put a new seal in, and basically this motor, put the water pump back on. I got a new water pump for it. We'll put the the accessory bracket on. I'm not running a power steering pump, so it'll just have basically just a pulley on there just to keep the for the serpentine belt to keep it kind of where it needs to be. And yeah, then basically we're ready to pull the old motor out of the old 55 and swap everything over. I'm probably going to change the timing chain. Well, I guess today's the day to change the timing chain, and I'll change obviously the crank and cam gears on the 4.8 liter for my 55 here. The motor's back in the old 73 Chevelle, so that project's out of here. So I think my transmission's done for this. I think they're gonna probably get it this week. So probably the next week or two we're gonna throw her back together. I'm gonna change the timing chain. to me, it's a little bit on the loose side. I know these ones do run a smidgen looser. So obviously it's on the right side because when I was turning it over, I'm off a bit. My dots are lined up. So I'll get a puller here. I'll pull the crank gear off, cam gear just unbolt. I am going to put also a new oil pump in this thing. For peace of mind, I guess it's got supposedly about 130, 160 on it. So everything looks really nice and clean on it. So yeah, hopefully it's a good motor. So we'll get the oil pump on. We'll change the front seals, the rear seals. We'll pressurize it up, and then it should be basically good to go. So I said, other than that, change the plugs out. I'm gonna see what he was running for plugs in it. I'm assuming they're like an RS12, but I'll just wait till we pull the old one out, and then I'll put the same plugs in, because with the turbo, I don't know what he was running with the plugs. So we'll do that, and we'll change the plugs just before we put it in. I got to, for the flex plate here, you have to do the slight modifications to the, let's see if I get my fat finger in there. Yeah, right up there. You have to slot, I'm going from memory, I think it's 2 of the holes. You have to make the little adapter for the torque converter, because when this thing hit last time, it actually essentially destroyed that. So I got to make that up this week. And then this motor should be good to go. So I'll post up here in a bit. At first, when we put the old little south bend in here, Corey was very opposed to putting it in here. But now he's starting to kind of see the light, how handy a lathe is. I just had to make just a little cheesy puller adapter, because my little 3-jaw puller here for pulling the crank gear is too small for the snout here. So sorry about the crappy camera. So I just got to make just a little guy that goes in there. Center drilled the slot, so it'll catch the little puller guy there, and it'll pull it off. You could use a washer, and there's lots of ways to do it. I find just a scrap brass, a couple minutes on the lathe, you have a nice part, and it's going to pull nice and straight. And just like that, the little cheesy, up here in Canada, didn't think it was going to fall off that quick. That's just a crappy 3-jaw puller from Princess Auto, similar to our Harbor Freight. I'm not too worried about the oil pan, because the oil pan is actually getting switched, because since it's in a 55, it was lowered, and this would cause the whole problem. The oil pan is chopped about 3 inches, so this oil pan is not going back in. It'll probably just go in the parts pile. But yeah, so just clean this up. We'll put the new crank gear on, put timing chain in, put the oil pump on, button it up, and yeah, it'll be should be hopefully a good motor. Hopefully we'll be on the road here in a couple weeks. But yeah, just making little tools like this, just I don't know, rather than being a butcher and a hack, do things properly. Okay, we're just doing a quick little video here, just putting the crank gear on. I said I made the tool for putting on the harmonic balancer. So I just made a spacer here with an 1.5 ID. It's just a piece of home tubing. So we'll just push the crank gear on. Just a little bit of oil on it so it doesn't go on dry. And it presses on very, very easy. Back here. Then when we torque it down, it'll put that back in line. When we torque it down, it'll seat it fully. And that's it. Why don't I do this more intelligently? Put that back up there. There we go. And that's it. And pull the guy off. And there we go. The key is just below, so you don't even have to worry about putting a little indent in there or nothing. The key sits below in there. And that's it. That way the tool works for both the crank gear and the harmonic balancer. You just unthread it, and there you go. So put the timing chain on this guy, button it up in the front here, and picked up the transmission today, just over there. So it hopefully in the next week or two we get this thing back together. Okay, we're just back on the LS motor. It's going into my 55. I got looking at the thrust plate. I mean, it's not bad. I can feel it. It's not a hell of a lot. But I figure I'm this far into it, why not change it? Plus also the seal that goes on the back, there's just nothing left. It's just compressed. So rather than getting a little bit of oil pressure, possibly I'll change it. Just went and got ahead and got a new milling one. Just at the piston ring here had them. So I said it's simple to put on. Just 4 T40 head flathead cap screws. Put them on. torque them down to 18 foot-pounds, and you're good to go. So everything's all kind of wiped down and clean, so I'll install it dry. Start that off. They do have Loctite built into the bolt, so you do not need to put any other thread locker on. I'll just grab the 3 other bolts behind Derek here. Find them, I put them somewhere. As I get older, I find I'm getting worse and worse for putting stuff down and forgetting where I put it. There they are.
I'm no better.
Well, it's getting worse as I'm getting older, I'll tell you that much. Come on, hand. There we go. Okay. Just kind of just put even pressure just so you snug them up. Not too worried about alignment because the countersink is going to force it where it's going to go. So now we're all snug. I said 18 foot-pounds ain't a heck of a lot. Let's see, there's 18 foot-pounds there. There we go. I'll put a new cam gear on it to put the timing chain on it, and I'll put the new oil pump on it, but since I'm changing a pickup, because I have my 55 has a lower pan, the pan is only up to about here. I think it's dropped about 2.5, 3 inches off to use that pickup. So this pickup will be coming off, but we'll wait till we do the, pull the motor out to do that swap. That way, basically when it goes, it'll be all ready to go. So yeah, we'll probably put a little bit more, and we'll shoot a little bit more as we go along. Okay, we're just getting ready to put the cam gear on. Now, just because I'm always paranoid on steel, I'll put a little bit of assembly lube here. It's a little bit sticky. It's the old Elgin pre-lube. Just to have something on here, just so it's not a dry start when you first start up. I mean, we're going to prime the motor anyways, but I still like to have oil on shit because I'm paranoid like that. So, got a dowel pin on here, relatively straightforward. This doesn't have the fancier stuff for the cam timing and that because it's just a stock motor. Now I might have to move the crankshaft a bit. We'll see here. Okay, okay. Now I'm not in 100%. There we go. Okay, I just have to adjust. Everything's in. There we go. Everything looks good. My marks line up, which is very important. Melling doesn't use a dot, they use like a U, and then you just have your dot there. So make sure your timing marks are lined up or you're gonna be screwed. 26 foot-pounds on these. I like using a little bit of blue Loctite. I'm just paranoid like that. And if it'll come out. Somebody, I have a pretty good idea. I won't say any names, his name begins with a C. Didn't seal this last time when they put it back together. So we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, everything looks good. Now that's a little bit better than before. I'll always kind of sneak up on it. I won't go right straight to. There we go. And that's it. I'll just move the engine back a second just to make sure. I think that's about it. Did I go the wrong way? Oh, I keep working backwards. Oh, wrong way. Look about there. Yeah. So our marks line up for our timing marks. Cam's all installed. I'll shoot some oil on this just before I'm getting ready to button up. We're not going to do it now because oil's just going to drip. Next is to install the oil pump. Got the new front cover gasket kit there. I think I'm going to make it again because I'm a little bit paranoid. They sell lineup tool to install the seal. I'll just make one. All it is just spigot on your cranks and it goes in there, taps it in. Okay, we're just getting ready to put the oil pump on. What I'm going to do here, just so I'm very forgetful, is I'm just going to use the old O-ring for right now since this is going to be the old pickup. Since I said before we're going to switch the pickups. Just for right now, I'm going to put it together so everything stays together. I'm just gonna I just shot just a little bit, just the oil, just to help it out so I don't cut the O-ring. Honestly, if I cut the O-ring, I really don't give a shit because I'm not using it, but still don't want the breeding shit to get in here. Now, I'm not gonna use feeler gauges in the other, for this pump here. I'm just gonna give it a turn. Come on, you. Let's see. Of course, I'm doing it on camera. It's not gonna come out the way it's supposed to. I'm just going to do the turn the block 360 and then call her good. Oh. There we go. So we'll put that guy up in there. Get the O-ring in there. We'll get the clamp on there. I'll get the bolts. These ones are 18 foot-pounds again. It kind of seems to be the norm for these things. A lot of the M8s all seem to be 18 foot-pounds. And then I forgot to do, I still have to put my little dealie in here to turn it. That way I can turn it easily by hand. And then we can spin her. I assume the proper way is, you've seen guys do it, you put feeler gauges in here and set your clearances that way. I don't know. I'm not going drag racing this thing. This is basically a daily driver. So you just have things just. You can hear it kind of just squishing a little bit. Well, there's that. That's good. Oh, no. I should have been more prepared and have a wrench with me. Okay. So, and like, oh fuck, my eyes are so bad. It's 5/16 BSW.
Yeah, I don't know why Corey had it.
Yeah, he's got British Standard woodwork in here.
Because Chris grabbed one on the weekend. He said, "This is 9/16." I said, "Chris, this is 9/16. Look at it, BWD."
Yeah, it's 5/16 B. It's not gonna SW, the British Standard woodwork. There we go. Okay. So we'll turn it over. Oh, she's got compression. That's a good sign. So we're gonna probably call that good. We're gonna, oil pump has now centered itself. It's found its happy home. Pull the wrench off. Like I said, 18 foot-pounds. Torque wrench is already set. So I'll just kind of bring them up snug. Make sure everything's gonna sit flush to where it's supposed to. Everything looks flush. I can sight down it. So 18. I don't know if you're supposed to go in a crisscross or go side to side. I'm going side to side. As long as you don't hear a snap. Okay, we'll give her one more spin over. She's definitely got compression. So there we go. Next thing, get the front timing chain cover on. Okay, just as a side note here, when I was turning it over, it's a tool I actually made for installing the harmonic balancer and the crank gear. This shoulder here fits against the shoulder of the crank snout, so that way you're not putting pressure. Like say you just put a bolt in there and it doesn't bottom out rather than stacking washers and that. I like doing that because that way the pressure is on the shoulder, nothing bad happens. Just if someone was wondering to see that, just a piece of 1" by 14 all thread rod. This was B7. Just turned it down for an M16 thread, and that way then we could just use a thrust washer on here. And that's how we just turn it in. That's how we just, I hate beating stuff on, do it properly. And yeah, so that's just how we turn it off. So unfortunately, with this being different sizes and the old small block Chevys and Mopars we work on, everything's different sizes, so you gotta make different tools, but such is life. Also, I'm really getting worried about this lawn chair. One band is let go. One of these fucking things broke on me in the fall time and I bruised the hell out of my ass. Okay, we're getting ready to put the timing chain back on. Now, some guys say you need it, some guys don't. I don't know, I'll err on the side of caution. We just made up here, Derek made up on the lathe here, just a little front spacer to line up your seal. So all I did is to hold us parallel to the bottom of the plane of the oil pan rails, just bolted 2 parallels up. So Just to oil the timing chain up one more time, I should have soaked it maybe, but we'll just put some, got some oil, purple left over when those guys are putting that big block together. We'll just oil the timing chain good. I've turned it over several times, so everything should be nice and lubricated. So that way when it starts, it shouldn't be dry. Now these gaskets, since they got their little O-rings or the little rubber gaskets on them, I don't put silicone on them, at least on this part. When it comes to the bottom rail, we'll put a little bit. So basically, let's put this guy on. And there's my bolts. You can also feel when you put your bolt in, it's kind of like a little bit of an O-ring grabs it. So what I'll do is I'll just put the bolts in. I'll put 2 of them, and I put the fucking thing backwards. Don't put it backwards.
Ooh.
I didn't even notice that I popped it on there.
Good eye.
Like, wait a second, that doesn't seem right. I'm not a mechanic for a living. There we go, that's better. No harm, no foul.
No damage.
We should have probably edited that and done another take, but piss on it. So anyways, I'll run these in. I'll probably have 2 just a little bit snug to allow me to get my tool put in. And then we can get it in. Get these guys torqued down. And then the tool, you just flip it over. We'll get a deadbolt, we'll take this guy out, and then we can install the seal. And then we can install the harmonic balancer. Or front pulley, whatever you want to call it. And then that basically buttons up the front of the engine. We still got to put the water pump on. I did buy a new water pump for it. I think I said that earlier in the video. So that way, basically, short of bearings and the piston, that's basically everything changed on this. Maybe I should have went into it further, but like I said, it's just going to be a daily driver. I don't need anything overly fancy. Corey was talking about putting a cam in it. I hummed and hawed about it, and then I'm like, maybe I should have. Yeah. Probably should have brought a little impact over, so I'm not doing this by hand. But not as fun as watching paint dry. So now by rights, we already did test fit this before we had this on just to see how well this would work. I've never done this before. I should probably put a little lubricant on there, but so it goes in good. Our pan is down right now. You won't see on the camera here, but gravity's holding us down right now. We're sitting nice and parallel on here. We went with about 2 thou clearance on there, so I'm happy with the clearance on there. I mean, your seal, I think 2 thou was more than adequate. So we can put that in there. We can torque these guys up to 18 foot-pounds again. Like I said, everything seems to like 18 foot-pounds on there. And then we'll pull it out one more time, make sure everything's good. Like I said, and that kind of starts buttoning up this. We got to do the same to the rear main seal. Like I said, I'm going to take it off just because the motor did sit for a while. As a side note, all the gaskets I'm putting in are Felpro. You can buy cheaper gaskets. I don't know, you hear horror stories from people using cheaper gaskets with problems, so we've never had problems with Felpro, so I kind of just stick with it. 18 pounds. So on this one, I guess we'll start. I'll do them all, just kind of snug up, just to snug that rubber gasket up. Then I'll kind of go probably in a clockwise rotation from the center out. Good news, the centering ring still turns good. Okay, I think if we do that one. Okay, and our centering ring still turns good. So we know our seal is going to be within about 2 thou any which way. For a seal, that's more than adequate. So we can pop that guy off. Oh, like I said, I'll probably stop the camera here. We'll get everything disassembled and we'll pop the seal in, because I don't think you guys want to watch me take this shit apart. Are you ready? Yep. Okay, we got all our related paraphernalia off. There's a new front seal. There's just a national seal. So all we're going to do is pop it in here. Pop that guy there. Got myself my little dead blow. That's it. Nice and flush everywhere around. I'll give it one more just a little tap. And look at that. new seal, and we'll put the harmonic balancer on shortly. Some people don't believe in putting oil on seals. I was always taught to never have a dry seal. Now, if somebody asked, this does not have a spring behind this seal. If it did, I would have put grease behind it. This particular seal did not have a spring behind it, so I did not put grease behind it before you drive it, because bad things can happen. But I never put seals in dry. I'll just pull that over in the lathe. We'll give that a quick polish where it rides on there, because actually there's no just staining on here. We'll give that a quick polish, and then we're ready to put this guy on. Okay, we're just gonna throw in the old south bend here. Just give it a quick polish here. I'll take a little bit of 320 just to kind of hit the highs, and then I'll take some SOS. See a little bit of a groove right there. I'll see how much it cleans it up. See what it looks like. I'll go just a hair more here. Line, I can't feel it. I can see it. Or sorry, I can see it, but I can't feel it. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so we got the front pulley here / harmonic balancer nicely oiled up. I oiled it the best I could with my finger. So we'll put that on here. I just don't want anything bad to happen here. So we'll get that there. Now I got to, I think I'll have enough room. Oh no, sorry, my bad. I forgot it. When I did this, I'm not gonna have enough to catch with that nut, am I? I think I got the other spacer in my car there. Maybe I have enough to catch. Should be tight. So everything looks to be going on straight and true. We'll bottom out here momentarily. There we go. Okay. So that is the front harmonic balancer / pulley installed. So all that's left to do is just to torque the the front bolt there. I do have a new one coming. I'll put the old one in just for right now. I think they're 200 foot-pounds. I got to double check that torque. I think they're 200 foot-pounds. I know this one, holy shit, it was tight as hell to break. Once it broke, it was easy. We did another one, it literally just fell right off, but holy shit, was that tight. It would suck to do in the car, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so that kind of wraps the front of this thing up. Holy fuck, I'm getting out of shape. But so yeah, so that's that guy. Rear main seal still has to be changed. Like I said, oil pan pickup has to be changed because since it's a lower pan. And other than that, this motor is shortly good. Just do the flex plate, torque converter mount, and it's ready to be changed. So yeah, so hopefully in the next couple weeks you'll see the old 55 back on the road. Although I got a. So as you can see, like the control arm bushings, they're bad. I mean, they're really bad. So like I said, we'll pop them off. We'll put new ball joints in. I'm gonna get change tie rods out. I'm gonna do basically the whole front end, then I'll send in for alignment, and then we're good to go. And here's the old 55 as it looks. Corey thinks it probably sits a little too high. I'm gonna go with, I think they're 638s or the standard ones or whatever. I think they're about a 16 3/8 non-compressed. I'll try them, see how it goes, because it does have 2-inch drop spindles on it. So we'll see what it looks like. If I worst comes to worst, I think the 656s are a little bit taller. I think they're about an inch taller. If I gotta change them out, it's no big deal. But yeah, if you like the old 55, subscribe and tell your friends. There should be a couple of videos on this coming up shortly. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.